So the topic of today is validation. So if you find yourself always asking for approval or permission to do things that you know you don't even need permission for, or criticism or compliments either dramatically makes your whole day or breaks your whole day, then this video may help you, because we're going to talk about the three big reasons. Of course, there are more, but these are the three big reasons why we can be so dependent on validation, what other people think of us, having other people be so happy and so pleased with us, and how it's like almost like a drug that sometimes we need, because when we don't have it, when we feel like people aren't happy with us, they're not pleased with us, we have no value anymore, we feel lost. So we're going to talk about the three reasons why that keeps happening. In case you don't know who I am, my name is Sheryl Jackson, but friends like you call me Sher, and I am here to help as many people as I can learn how to overcome fears, insecurities, doubts, all of that, in order to live life that we were created for. That is like my mission, that is my goal. So if videos like this sound interesting to you, you know where the subscribe button is. Friends help friends help friends. So help me help you help other people. Press the like button and subscribe. Okay, so if you're ready, reason number one is acceptance. When we think of our own self, when we think of who we are, we may not necessarily right off the bat accept that person. We might not think that person is good enough, smart enough, capable enough. We could be very self-critical of who we are. And so because of that, we need other people to give us the acceptance that we aren't giving ourselves. And so we look for other people to validate us, to give us purpose, to help us to feel better. Because when that is removed and we are left with our own selves, that person can be a real bully. We can be the real bully to ourselves. And it's because we need the voices of others to speak louder than our own voice that we're speaking to ourselves. We need other people to affirm that we aren't as bad as we think we are. And so we're looking for outside people to change our mind. And so a way to help us to work around that is we have to be intentional about who we are when it's just us. What are we speaking to ourselves? What are we saying to ourselves? What are we believing about ourselves? Because we are dependent on other people because we want them to change what is already inside us. But we have to change the words that we're speaking. We have to already find ourselves enough, valued, all of those things. We have to see that in ourselves, that we were created with worth. That's the first big reason why we become so addicted to what other people think. We want them to change something that only we can change about ourselves. The second reason why we can be so addicted to validation is identity. And this one may seem a bit confusing, identity. Why? What do you mean identity? If you've been a people pleaser for a very long time, then you know, I don't even have to explain to you. A reoccurring theme that could happen in your life is how helpful you are, how much of a giver you are, how you're always there, all of those things. And so your identity all of a sudden becomes wrapped up in your ability to be self-sacrificing for everyone else. And so in order for us, sometimes in this twisted way of thinking, but in order for us to uphold the high standard that we believe other people have of us, we have to continue to do the only thing that we think they think we're good at. And that's helping them. We don't think that people care about us and love us because of a whole mirage of who we are. We think that people care and love about us because we always help them. We always say yes. We're always present. We're always giving to them. We're always running on our last leg, our last effort to make sure that they're happy, right? And so when we think that other people expect that of us, it's hard for us to stop, because we believe that's who we are, that's who we have to be. The key thing here, it seems so simple, but it's really important, is for you to separate mentally and sometimes even physically who you are from what you do. You aren't great because of the things that you do. You aren't this awesome, wonderful, loving, sweet, kind person because of how much you sacrifice yourself for other people. You are that person inside. So that means even when you have to say no, even when you can't do it, that doesn't make you less of who you are. You are still sweet, you are still compassionate, you are still kind, you are still loving. You are just not the human sacrifice for every person that you love in your life. That's just not who you are, right? But sometimes when our identity is so tied up in the things that we're doing, the people that we're helping, how much we're working, when our identity is so tied up in that, we think that when we can't do that anymore, when we have to say no, when we think it's like a huge disappointment, we're such a huge disappointment. And we like, that is just so wrong, because you're not a disappointment because you cannot always be there for everyone. It's not your identity. The third reason why we are so addicted to validation or people pleasing is belonging. Sometimes we will trade authenticity, right? Authentic relationships for just having relationships. Because one, the first thing, right, like we don't accept ourselves. And then two, the second thing, we don't really have a sense of identity of who we are. Our identity is so much tied up in what we do for other people. And because we all have a human need for belonging, right, for community. That's something that's intrinsic to all humans, is a need for community and belonging. Because we need that so bad, but we don't see the value in our own selves, we will accept relationships that seem good but aren't really authentic just because it's a relationship. And I'm not just talking about romantic relationships. I'm talking about friendships, familiar, family relationships, even like co-worker relationships. We will accept relationships that are not healthy for us in the least, but it's community, it's a sense of belonging. So let me just dive deeper in this to explain. An authentic relationship means that the foundation of the relationship is not solely based on how present you always are for the person. How you were just, they say like, you were just always there for me. You're just so helpful. Every time I need you, you're there. Like, you are just like an amazing person because every time I need, you are the person that always gives. Now, are we not supposed to be, I hear what you're saying. You're like, are we not supposed to be giving and kind and present? Like, that's a good friend. And yes, that is a good friend. But in relationships that's not really authentic, those people only really accept you as long as you're doing those things. If for whatever reason things change and you aren't able to provide, to sacrifice, to help in the way you were before, is the strength of the relationship still there? Is there more to the relationship besides how much you give and serve them, right? Is there more? If you were to take that away, would the person still have the highest praises for you, would still love you, would still say like, this is such an amazing person because she's more than this thing, because he is more than what she does for me? You cannot trade authenticity just for any relationships. Look for authentic, true relationships that surpass how much you are able to give to them and really, really exist on a much deeper level. Because we don't live and exist just to make other people grow and have what they need so that you can shrivel up and you can just be like laying there like, oh, I can still help you even though you're like in pain, in bed, crippled, you know. That is not what living is supposed to be like. That's not relationships is supposed to be like. I can tell you for sure, that is not what you were created for. So yeah, acceptance, identity, and belonging, the three things that suck us into needing validation, but we can live boldly and flourish the way we were created to. And please let me know in the comments too. Tell me, like, yeah, that sounds like me. That's exactly what I'm dependent on. I really hope this video helped you. If you want more, go to boldlyflourish.com, sign up for my email list, and you'll get encouragement right in your inbox straight from my heart. Follow me on Instagram. I welcome you with arms wide open. And if you like this video, please don't forget to press the like button. It tells YouTube that videos like this are great, they're helpful, and they should show it to more people. But until then, I will see you lovely people in my next video. Bye.